I'm Sheryl Smith with Smith Real Estate Services, and today I'm going to talk about, is that short sale really going to happen? I'm going to look at two different things, and I want to start with an example that I think we probably can all relate to. Let's say that you decide that you're going to loan somebody $5,000 to buy a new car, and you say that they are to pay that back over the next 24 months. Well, about 12 months into it, they find out that the car that they bought is now worth only $3,000. And they decide, because of that change in value, that they no longer want to pay you back your $5,000. So you're sitting there thinking, I loaned you $5,000, you agreed to pay me $5,000, and now you're telling me you don't want to pay me the money that we agreed to. Well, this is a situation that banks actually find themselves in all the time as it relates to short sales. So here's what happens. Let's say that let's say there's two lenders on the loan. The first lender, let's say they're owed $400,000. And let's say there's a second on the loan that's owed $50,000. So the total amount that's owed on the property is $450,000. That borrower agreed to pay those two lending institutions $450,000. And yet the property value has dropped, so that now it's only worth $350,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sure you can recognize that if a property is only worth $350,000, there isn't a buyer on the planet that's going to pay $450,000 for it. So as a result, that means that the lending institutions are the ones that would have to agree to take less money than they are owed. Now, why would they do that? Are they going to do that just because the property value dropped? No. Most people do not recognize that the reason that a lender accepts a short sale is because both the borrower and the property have to qualify. So it's not enough for the borrower to just say, it's only worth $350 now, I'm not going to pay anymore, for the bank to approve that. That borrower has to have a verifiable hardship that demonstrates why they can no longer pay the $450,000 that is owed. If they don't have a verifiable hardship, then the investor is likely to say, I don't think so. You agreed to pay me $450,000. You have the money to pay me $450,000, and I will not agree to take less than that. So, if you're a buyer in this situation and you're putting in offers on a property that the borrower or seller does not have a verifiable hardship, you're likely wasting your time. You're putting in offers on a property that doesn't have a chance of being approved by that lender of the borrower. So it's important for your agent to understand that this is the case and to speak with the listing agent and to find out what the circumstance is. That way you have a much better chance of not writing offer after offer after offer and have it not approved. Now let's talk about a second thing that happens very commonly, and that is there more than one loan on the property? Now, if there is more than one loan on the property, then that means both of the lenders have to agree to take a short sale. It's not enough for the first to say okay. If the second doesn't say okay, you got no deal. So let's think about this for a moment. Using that same example, we have a property that's valued at $350,000. The first lender is owed $400,000. The second lender is owed $50,000. Now, if the property only sells for $350,000, the first lender is not even going to get all of their money back. Now, they know they have to get the okay of the second. That's a given. But think about it, if you were that first lender, you're already not going to get all of your money back. And you know that if the property is foreclosed on, the second's actually going to get nothing. So you're thinking, you know what, I'm in a pretty strong position here. I'll give them a few $1,000s and hope that they'll accept it, because the second will recognize that if it does foreclose, they won't get anything. And so I'm just going to offer a few thousand. Now put on your other hat, and let's say that you're the second. And the second's going, wait a minute, I'm owed owed $50,000. Why in the world would I take $2,000 or $3,000 to accept this short sale? Well, there may be reasons for it, and there may not be reasons for it. What's important for you to recognize is that A, your buyer's agent needs to know the answer to that question. How many loans are there? And if they are not asking those questions, once again, you may just be writing offer after offer after offer, never to get a home. Now, if you are looking to buy a home, or you are looking to sell a home that is a short sale, it is important for you to recognize the agent matters. It matters to work with someone that understands how to get things done in this market, because truthfully, it can be the difference between whether you sell that home, if you're the seller, or if you actually buy a home, if you're the buyer. Now, I haven't met a seller yet that's interested in just listing a home just for the fun of having people walk through their house all the time, having to keep it clean, do all of that stuff just for fun. When a seller puts a property on the market, it's because they want to sell it. When that property is a short sale, it's important for the seller to choose their agent wisely, to choose a savvy negotiator who can get things done between that first and that second. Not just any old person that shows up and says, "Oh, I can list your short sale." You need a strong negotiator to get it done. If you have a buyer's agent that is working for you, what you want to ask them some questions. How do you go about screening the listing agent? Do you ask about how many loans are on the property? And one thing that I didn't mention, and I will say in closing, is who are the lenders? There are lenders out there who require that the seller make some sort of a contribution if they accept a short sale. Well, if you've got a borrower who has no money, and the requirement of that bank is that that borrower pay some money, you're not going to get your deal done, because unless you're planning on coming out of your pocket to pay that money, which some buyers do if they really want the home, you have a much smaller chance of actually getting that home. So today's message is about, is that short sale really going to happen? We've talked about what happens on the part of the lender and how they look at things, and we've talked about how both the home and the seller have to qualify for a short sale. So choose wisely. It makes a difference. I'm Sheryl Smith, signing off. See you next time.